In our previous video, we looked at a way to use what I call the AB rules to do various rotations about the origin in a counterclockwise direction. It turns out that we can also do this a second way using matrix multiplication. Well, if you watched our video about using matrix multiplication for reflections, you know that I don't really like doing this with matrix multiplication. So I'll show you how the process works, although we're going to kind of cheat, wink wink, as a way to find this without actually doing the multiplication. We'll kind of fake it. And so what I want to do in this example is I want to do a rotation by 180 degrees. Well, looking back in my notes, I see that there is a matrix that I can multiply that will do that. So that matrix is a square matrix, and it's -1, 0, and then 0, -1. We have to make sure that if we are going to use our calculator and do this legit, that has to be entered as matrix A. I have to multiply that on the left. I've gone ahead and already set up my coordinates for my pre-image. And if you need help with that, I've got a previous video you can watch about that. But enter that in as matrix B. I've just gone ahead and listed the coordinates of each of those points. So that's what I would be doing on my calculator. And if you like doing it using your calculator, then you can certainly go about doing it. But let me show you what I actually like to do. I'm going to cheat and find the coordinates of my image matrix, not actually using matrix multiplication, although it looks like I did. So E prime, F prime, G prime, and H prime would be my image. Well, looking back at my AB rules for a 180 rotation, I can see that my rule was to do opposite A, opposite B. In other words, I left the coordinates in the same order. X stayed in front, Y stayed in back. I merely changed the sign. I made them the opposite of what they were. So applying that to the matrix I set up right here in purple, let's go ahead and do that. Let's change all of our signs, but keep things in the same order. So E prime should be located at 3, -2 once I change those signs. F prime should be located at 3, -4. Look, it looks like I did the matrix multiplication, but I didn't really do it. Very sneaky. -1, -4, and then -2, -2. If you don't believe me that those are the coordinates that you would get when you did the multiplication, then go ahead and do it. Grab your graphing calculator, get those two matrices entered, and multiply them together. You'll see that this is what you end up with. And if you need help doing the multiplication, I've got a matrix multiplication video that's got your name on it if you want to watch it. All right, so there's my coordinates. Let's go ahead and actually graph this. Graphing is a great way to check if you did this right, because it should look like you rotated it 180 degrees. If it doesn't, then you know you did something wrong. So why don't you pause the video and graph this, graph the original and graph your answer, and make sure it looks like a rotation. If you let it play through, you can check your answer in just a couple seconds. There's the original trapezoid, and there are the new coordinates we found. And yep, it certainly looks to me like we took that orange trapezoid and rotated half a turn around to get our 180-degree rotation.